All right, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Just going to get the chart set up here so we can see what's going on, and we'll talk about the plan for the day. All right, let's take a look here at the charts and see what we got. It looks like we got a nice little sell-off here after this news at 8:30. Kind of bounced off this new week opening gap that we have here. I'll bring this up for you guys so you can see this. I use TradingView for my charting. You can see this white line here. This is the new week opening gap. So this is the gap between last week and this week's open. Bounced right off of that area. Let's look and see if we got a gap in the chart this morning. Looks like we closed yesterday at 45 and we're currently at 57. So a small gap to the upside. Nothing. We'll kind of keep an eye on that, but it's not a huge. See where we open up at. Let's kind of mark out the 45 level here. Just kind of know that's where that gap is. Doesn't matter that we went below the gap here. This is still pre-market. We're only looking at the gap to be filled at the open. And let's check the ES and see if there's a gap in the ES. Let's see. The ES closed yesterday at 41.72. So the ES closed yesterday at 41.72. Is currently at 41.68. So not really much of a gap to speak of, to be honest. So got news at 10 a.m. today, so we'll probably wait for this first 15-minute candle to print, kind of see what happens. I don't know if the news is going to move the market very much, but we shall see. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So let's just sit back and wait. don't like opening up at the VWAP, so I'm hoping we kind of move away from it before open here. Typically, when we open up at the VWAP, it's kind of an indication of a indecisive, choppy day. So, like to get away from this area before open. Below the VWAP on the ES. Kind of right in between two pivots here on the Nasdaq. We have a pivot to the downside at 13,616 and a pivot to the upside at 13,678. So, first 30 minutes of the open here, it's going to kind of be unpredictable. Like I said, there's a small gap, but not very much to speak of there. So we'll just kind of see what happens. Going to be patient the first 15 minutes. May not even take a trade in the first 30 minutes today since we have 10 a.m. news. We may take the first 15-minute candle breakout trade if it looks decent. But other than that, just going to try to be patient today. All right, we got about 2 minutes to open. Market kind of pulling back here a little bit into open. Currently below the VWAP on the 3-minute chart. I think we got, let's see what we got today as far as news goes. No, we have something at 10 a.m. Okay, existing home sales, 10 a.m. Fed bar testimony at 9:30. So either of those could move the market. Oh, I didn't realize Fed bar is speaking at 9:30. So let's see what happens here at open. Kind of looking like we're setting up for a breakout. You can see that this sort of, you could put your trend line here, would have been your breakout earlier, but might get some sort of a move above the VWAP, come back down, turn into support before continuing higher. But you never know with the news coming out and with this Fed speaking. So let's just trade the price action that we're given. I get a push up to this pivot at 78. See if we get rejected at this pivot. Nasdaq trying to push. ES is not. Dollar is moving up, which just kind of would lead me to believe that we're going to pull back. If the ES makes a new low here, I don't see how the Nasdaq doesn't pull back with it. Still trying to push here. Like I said, he got that pivot up at 78. So I may want to run this liquidity here before turning back down. Or it may just bring the ES with it. Let's see what happens. ES trying to move on down here. Nasdaq stuck at the 70. Like I said, kind of looks like it wants to run this liquidity up here near the pivot, near 80. May want to get a bit of an overshoot before it rejects. ES is struggling to move down now. Dollar's still moving up, so we got a bit of a divergence going on here. These markets aren't moving in sync as they should be. The Nasdaq and the ES typically will move together. ES trying to move up now. All right, we're approaching that pivot, 78. ES is still below the VWAP, just approaching the 20 SMA there. It's kind of a slow grinder. All right, we're at the pivot. I would expect the overshoot of the pivot here because you have some liquidity resting up there before we possibly get rejected. If you get the ES moving above VWAP here, then you may get a pump up on both. All right, the Nasdaq just purged the high there. 83. ES failed to get above the SMA or the VWAP. See if we turn this pivot into resistance here. Or if we just continue moving higher. Looks like the ES finally made it above the SMA there. Kind of hate buying at the top here, but it looks like it wants that 700 level. And I'm going to go ahead and risk 100 here for possible move to the 700. Might get stopped out pretty quickly because kind of buying the top. Gonna go ahead and move my stop to break even here. Just looking for this quick move, but through 700. Want to see kind of an overshoot of 700s there. Moving my stop up with it here. Just guaranteeing some profit. There we go. Filled there. Nice little $180 winner right there on that push up. Kind of a risky trade, but when the train is moving, you just jump on sometimes. Saw the ES kind of making a new high there. That's what gave me the confidence in that move up. See, it broke above the SMA. Next pivot on the Nasdaq's up here at 716. ES getting stuck at the VWAP. All right, ES finally breaking through the VWAP here. See if it holds it, turns this VWAP into some support. ES is quite a ways away from the next pivot. Let's see where the next pivot is on the ES. Yeah, it's all the way up at 41.93, so quite a ways to go. All right, getting this pullback here. ES is pulling back. So is the NAS. ES back to the 20 SMA. Nasdaq's really a good ways away from this VWAP and SMA. Traded back into this fair value gap here and then moved kind of back up. But question is here, is this going to retrace the entire move? If you throw the fibs on there, you can kind of see this is discount kind of below here. So you'd probably be looking at this gap here. So maybe a trade. Maybe this will trade back into the 75 range. Let's go ahead and look. We got our first 15 minute levels. Obviously, the high of the day. Let's see, 13,652. So 652. This would be the low. Oh, I guess it helps if I select the line. So this would be the low, and obviously the high a day is kind of the high for this 15-minute breakout trade. Be a little concerning to try to take a breakout up here since we've already had such a large move. Would like to see a nice little pullback, but may not get that. Possibly getting another breakout to the upside here on the Nasdaq. I mean, you got this 15-minute trade breakout, but you got to pivot up here at 217. So that's kind of the scary part of trying to take a trade up here. Let's see here. Let me look at the 15-minute breakout on the ES. Let's see, 930 would be this candle here. So the ES is kind of in the middle of that range, 73 to 65. That first 15-minute candle there. Nasdaq trying to break out of this range. Dollar's making a new high, which is kind of scary. It should be, we should be moving down if the dollar's moving up, but we're not. Dollars went straight up, Nasdaq's went straight up, so an interesting divergence. I feel a little more comfortable taking a trade on the ES, I think, for this breakout. The 15-minute candle breakout would be 73. The ES has not had near as much movement. So something like this on the ES. Breakout, breakdown. Like I said, the NAS may make a new high here, but we do have numbers coming out in 10 minutes. And this strategy is not that great. I mean, it's still fine, still works, but it's not as good when you have news coming out at 10 a.m. So let's just kind of be patient here. All right, kind of looking at the ES here. If we break through 66, actually, if we break the low of this candle, which would be 65.50, I think we make a new low of the day, maybe even move back into the 50s. So stay above 66, kind of make a case for a move up. Numbers coming out in 8 minutes. Doubt I'll take a trade before then. Nasdaq's trying to break out. Maybe we'll get some movement after these numbers. Just not 100% sure that we want to be taking a trade over here at the top. Although honestly, this is bull flagging here. This looks like a nice, got some consolidation before the next kind of breakout or breakdown. Dollar's still going to the moon. Dollar's just pumping up, straight up to the moon here. Looks like the ES back down to the 67 level hill, trying to test this SMA before these numbers come out. ES definitely looking a lot weaker than the NAS. ES looks weaker, dollar's pumping up. It almost leads me to believe that we're probably going to get a dump here with these numbers. I think these numbers come out, we might get a dump. So, no guessing. We'll see what happens, but that would be kind of what I'm thinking. Remember how we checked the premium and the discount a few minutes ago on this move up. So if we do get a move back down, might move back down here to the VWAP before going higher. Could be a possibility, but we'll see. So many scenarios you can go over where it might happen, might not happen. So looking at the chart right here, the a good setup would be a move back into the 70. Move back into the 70 area on the Nasdaq here before bouncing might be the play. Might get a little pump here before the numbers come out, a little pump before the dump possible. Well, that was interesting. The numbers came out and nothing. Just nothing. Hit that pivot at 18 on the NAS, kind of rejecting it. ES is looking a lot weaker than the Nasdaq. If we get this breakdown on the ES, maybe it takes the NAS with it. ES not really doing anything, just kind of hanging out in this range. Not much to do here. Nasdaq's hanging out to 700 level. We bounced off the 700 levels several times. Just kind of waiting. All right, so let's see if we can maybe sweep that 18 level and then get a move back down here. See if we get a move to the downside. Could just pump all day, though. You never know. All right, ES is trying to make a move here. Let's see if it can break out of that 15-minute range here. Nasdaq also just made a new high. Took a little $25 scalp on the ES there. Nothing crazy. Just didn't feel like this breakout was going to continue, but it might. Nasdaq making a new high there. It broke out as well. Dollar actually moving down now. Nasdaq still pushing to the upside here. Could have taken this breakout, but I tried to take it on the ES and just didn't hold it. 15-minute breakout playing out perfectly today. Got this fair value gap on the Nasdaq as well as on the ES. So maybe trade back into the 74 area on the ES. Nasdaq. Possible trade back into the 28 area for the move back up. I don't know, man. Should I take this trade on the ES and risk my profits? I'm not sure. That's always the question. Do you take it and risk the profits, or do you not? I just risked $50 for that move up. Kind of got stopped out there. All right, just took a couple of quick scalp moves. Tried to take it on the ES here, but lost $50 on that play. Really should have. I mean, I don't know why I do this stuff, guys, but you're seeing it with me, my struggles here. I mean, I drew the box out perfectly. It tapped into it. I mean, my order should just be resting at the top of the box. So it should be in from 74 for the move up to 80. 6 handles would be $300 on the ES. Instead, I get in higher. Scared to put my stop to where it needs to be. Stop needs to be down here. But I see the ES moving up. So I switched over to the NAS, which I'm more comfortable with. Don't ask me why. So I went ahead and jumped in right here for this little move up. Just took a little 4-handle, 5-handle scalp on this move up here. So let's see, got long up here at the top at 38, and then went to 43. So profit now is at $252 for the day. Unless something else that's just kind of, irresistible presents itself. That'll probably be my last trade. But again, I even drew out the box here on the Nasdaq too. Traded in, should be long from 28 for the move to 45. That's a good 17 handles there. I got to start trusting my trades. I see the setups, I mark them out, and then I don't take them. Or I take them and I don't put my stop where it needs to be. So those are the struggles that I'm working on. Look at the ES. Oh my goodness. Should have been long from the 74s here for a 20 point or a 10-point move on the ES would have been $500, but that's in hindsight there. I use this on TradingView here. I don't you can see getting the move up here through the pivot. Just kind of a straight up move this morning. Not much of a pullback at all. Get the buy signal here at 9:32. So you could have taken the buy signal for the break of this trend line and just held it all the way up. I don't necessarily trust these buy signals or really use them. They're just kind of on there. Sometimes when you look back, you go though, oh, could have taken that. Got the next pivot all the way up at the 790. We've had a nice little move today. I mean, we went from open at 51, 651. We've had a 110, 15, I don't know, almost 120 point move to the upside. And I think we've only got $250 out of that. It's kind of frustrating. All right, market's still kind of moving higher here. Tough to jump in at this point. I mean, it could be seeking out the 800 level or the pivot at 790. Kind of looks like that's in its crosshairs here. Yeah, still just pumping higher as well. I don't know. I do a good job at identifying the trades, but then doing what I'm supposed to do once I identify the trades, for some reason, seems to be the hardest thing. Should be getting long here at 74. Stop down here at 69. Only risking 5 handles, you know, for a potential 10, 15, 20 handle move. So, probably going to get this 4,200 level. Seems like that's where the ES wants to go. And I imagine we're at least going to get to the 800 level. We're already bouncing off that pivot there at 90. So probably going to see it push through here and then just continue higher. With that being said, my goal for the day was $250. So we hit 250. That's the goal for the morning session. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and lock that in and walk away. Been live for an hour and 15 minutes. $252, not too bad. Yesterday ended up with 172, 174, something like that. After being down yesterday morning on the live stream, $600. Seemed to dig myself a hole in the mornings. It's kind of been the pattern lately, and then having to fight out of it in the afternoon. But anyways, I'll be live this afternoon, probably 2 to 2:30, somewhere in that range. Live stream will probably be for about an hour or so. So if you could like the video, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you this afternoon. Appreciate you watching.